Even since I was young, I've never had the slightest interest in anime. In fact, I was sure I would never ever watch it. And as I grew older, I guess I developed an idea that anime was either for Japanese people or the weird guys in school that had no friends and spent their entire days in their dark, stinking basements watching anime and staring at anime girls for as long as possible. So I did not think I would ever get into anime or even try out because I am not Japanese. Or Well, okay, maybe that second one might not be so far off the truth, except for the anime girls. I promise that one's not true. No, seriously, that one's not true. But yeah, maybe I kind of did hold some prejudices against anime as a whole, as a genre, and I never thought I'd ever watch it. Until I guess I did. And can I just say, right off the bat, I have to apologize to everyone, every single anime watcher I know who I judged in this way. Because guess what? A couple of weeks ago, I was finally convinced by the guy who sits next to me in higher math to watch an anime. More specifically, Attack on Titan. Well, saying he convinced me to watch it is a bit of a long shot. It's more along the lines of we made a deal. He would watch Arcane, my favourite animated show of all time, if I watched Attack on Titan. In his opinion, the best animated show of all time. Honestly, the lengths I go to get people to watch Arcane. So I did it. I watched an anime. Even going into it, downloading the app he told me to watch it on, turning on the first episode, I had those preconceived ideas in my head that it was going to be crap. It's an anime, why on earth would it be good? Well, it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that I was wrong. Oh, I was wrong big time. But not in the way you would expect. You see, despite all the praise I've seen for Attack on Titan online, researching before watching it, and from the guy I was talking about, I didn't actually enjoy it. Honestly, I'm not even being funny, I didn't. It wasn't bad per se, no, absolutely not. But I didn't feel like it was for me. Which is weird because I would normally say that a show like Attack on Titan falls into a category that I like. Although it's not full-blooded fantasy, it's still a genre that I usually quite enjoy, set in the past I think it is, but with more futuristic technology of course, and titans, massive otherworldly creatures you would best describe as akin to giants or ogres or trolls, I don't know, something along those lines. But even with all of that put together, I was honestly not fully invested or drawn in by Attack on Titan at all. And I say this with the knowledge that if this video gets seen by any number of anime fans, I am getting flamed in the comments and probably assassinated tonight. But I quit Attack on Titan. I know. I'm sorry, guys, but I was just becoming less and less interested every single episode, and I decided to call it quits. But I promise it gets better, don't worry. But before I quickly get into that, if you don't want to see more anime content from me in the future as I go on my journey of becoming a real anime connoisseur, becoming an absolutely hugely knowledgeable anime guy, finishing Attack on Titan in the future maybe, and discovering some other really good ones, make sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel and also be hugely, hopefully, worth your time because you'll be able to see more anime related videos from me going forward. But back to it. Also, you know how I was talking about how I used to think that anime watchers had no friends? Turns out I was wrong because there's a group of them at my school who are like in a huddle, a tight friendship group, just talking about anime all day, even though we're in our final exams here. So, yeah, that's nice, I guess. And I was introduced, pulled into that group when I started. I was made one of them. And I've never been the most popular guy at school, so I mean, it was kind of cool. But, and I'm not even kidding, when I told them I quit Attack on Titan, you should have seen their faces. It just dropped. And I was probably kicked out from the group. So that's nice, right? But it gets better. Don't worry, all of you Attack on Titan fans out there, because I returned stronger and better than ever to watch a different anime. One that genuinely might be the greatest piece of animated media I've seen to date, excluding Arcane and Avatar, of course. And that show is Death Note. Because wow. Death Note, it absolutely blew my mind. And I haven't even finished the show yet. I'm currently only halfway through it and I'm absolutely addicted to it. I started literally less than probably 36 hours ago and I cannot get the show out of my head. I mean, I woke up this morning like a zombie, turned on my phone and then I'm like, oh my god, I need to watch Death Note. Ah! In less than a day, the show has hooked me and got me addicted to it like Homelander to his milk. I mean, how does anyone say that Attack on Titan is the best anime when you have Death Note? And sure, the longer Attack on Titan goes on and the ending of the show, which I've heard good things about, might be absolutely amazing and one of the best finales to a show ever. But Death Note for me doesn't need to do that. Right from the offset, it is pure brilliance. Also, just to remind you, at this moment, I'm only actually halfway through the show of Death Note, so I do ask you not to put any serious spoilers for the ending of the show in the comments. It's just that I'm obsessed with Death Note at the moment, and I really want to talk about it as soon as possible. So what about the actual anime itself? What did I think of this new type of media that I've never really tried out and have maybe held a few prejudices against in the past. Well, for the most part, I've been pretty impressed by it. Surprisingly, the show being in Japanese was actually so much better than I thought it would be. The emotion put into the voices in both Attack on Titan and in Death Note is so good. You can just feel the emotion from the voice acting. The animation, on the other hand, though, it's not amazing. And I guess you would probably expect me to think that though, especially off the back of shows like Arcane, The Legend of Vox Machina, and more. But the animation, honestly, it pales in comparison to shows like Arcane. There are moments when it is quite poor, to be honest, and it does often take me out of the story. But then that's rivaled when there are some really good moments of animation, not like overly absolutely amazing like Arcane, but just some really nice details. And what such example would be in Death Note, because there's a scene with Light and L when they first meet. We see Light's hair red, and there's a sort of red hue about his character as we're taking into his thoughts and what he's thinking in the situation. Then we have L on the other hand, who thoughts we can also see at the moment, but he's almost coloured in blue, his hair blue, and like I said with Light, a sort of blue hue around him, contrasting Light and showing very clearly the good and evil side of the moral conflict unfolding in the show. That is one particular thing that I did quite like. But other than that, and maybe a couple of other examples, the animation in both Attack on Titan and Death Note so far has definitely been something that I struggle to get over when watching. Also, maybe a bit smaller, but one thing that really annoys me when watching anime is that I can't really take my eyes off it. I know it seems like a trivial issue, but one thing I usually do when watching a show is, move around to do stuff or play a game whilst watching. But you have to be laser focused on the subtitles when watching anime. So, maybe I do need to start some Japanese Duolingo. And no, I refuse to watch it in English subtitles. In English audio. I've tried, and the voice acting simply does not compare to the absolutely brilliant, emotionally visceral voice acting in Japanese. And one such example of that would be Eren in Attack on Titan. His voice actor, I don't know who it is, but wow, absolutely brilliant voice acting from Eren in particular, more than anything I've ever watched, except for Arcane. Sorry, but nothing is beating Arcane for me. And here, maybe Attack on Titan is better, that's what everyone is seemingly saying. But for me, I'm sorry, but it simply just doesn't complete. It, I do understand that Attack on Titan does get better, so, I might be able to try it or watch it, give it a second try soon. But yeah, at the moment, I am struggling somewhat to enjoy it. Please don't go after me in the comments. But like I said, Death Note is just so good. It's such a genius idea. And one thing that actually does sadden me about that is the difference between animations that I've known so far, obviously, and the usual Hollywood crap. Just from two animes I've watched, the ideas are so good, so innovative, and such good content compared to the slop we've become accustomed to from Hollywood recently. It's just all superheroes, sequels, adaptations, more sequels, prequels, and basically nothing, absolutely nothing that is original. But these anime shows, on the other hand, they introduce such good ideas. They're so original, so interesting, such brilliant minds behind it. I mean, just with Death Note, the idea of a notebook dropped by this immortal creature and is dropped into the world that can kill a person just from their name being written down. And then you have Light, someone who wants to perfect the world, kill criminals to reduce the amount of bad in the world. And he's absolutely, he's got an unbelievable intellect. And he picks it up. It's such a smart idea. And it creates such a really intriguing moral dilemma that no doubt had anime fans at the time absolutely going at each other. Who's better, Light or L? For me, I'm kind of on the side of Light. I don't know. I just really like his character. But, when you look at it from the other angle, Light is absolutely horrible. So, in conclusion, yeah, my introduction to anime has been a bit weird. I started Attack on Titan, heralded by so many as the greatest anime show of all time, and I was disinterested the entire time before just deciding to quit, which no doubt pissed off any anime fans watching this. Then I started Death Note, which to my knowledge is pretty well received too. But the difference is I am in love with it, with the characters, with the plot, and I am so excited to see the result of this intellectual battle between L and Light come the end of the show. Also, I realized that hey, maybe anime isn't actually just for weirdos and people with no friends. Like I said, I'm by no means a cool guy. I'm probably the nerdiest person I know, but anime was still something I kind of held prejudices against. But now I realize it's actually so good and an absolute mile better than all the current trash Hollywood is putting out. So I will probably, hopefully, be doing a lot more anime or related videos in the future, whether it be my thoughts on the ending of Death Note, maybe next week, me giving Attack on Titan a second try, or some other anime. Make sure to stick around for it if you want. Also, there's an actual Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim anime movie coming out next week, so that's perfect timing to be starting my anime journey. Also, please don't go after me too hard after my thoughts on Attack on Titan. I get that it is a heavily loved show, but I just can't help my thoughts on it. So to end off this video, yes, I stand corrected. Anime is actually much better than I expected, and maybe anyone can enjoy it. Either way, if you do think anime is a little weird, like I maybe did say, what I will say is forget those prejudices. Get yourself to a laptop and watch Death Note right now, people. Also, I think one thing that definitely did help to get me into anime is I did a little bit of reading after starting it, and you realize that, maybe give it 50 years in the past, anime was considered definitely very, very weird. So maybe my thoughts on that when I was younger, and maybe up until a few years ago, was also a bit outdated, thinking that anime was for weirdos. But I think you realize now that, especially I think the pandemic helped this, people are so much more invested and acceptable to accept, things like anime as a whole, which is definitely something nice to see. And I'm glad that, I've definitely been able to start this journey into anime and been able to see that, what, it really isn't bad. And I think that stereotype that maybe, used to be there was definitely a harmful one to the anime in the Western world as a whole. But yeah, it's definitely so much better than you might originally think, especially because of these stereotypes. But anyways, my thoughts aside on Attack on Titan, once again, I know people will not like that if anyone watches the video. That is the end of my thoughts on my recent journey into anime. Thanks for watching up until this point if you did, and if you did enjoy, then I would highly recommend and, asking for you to subscribe for future anime content, and definitely make sure to comment down below what you think of my thoughts on anime in the comments, and whether you think I should try again on Attack on Titan, because I understand that some people will definitely disagree with my take on that. But I'll give it a second try. And like I said, I've heard some good things about the ending of it. So maybe when I finish Death Note, maybe check out a couple of other ones. One anime I definitely do want to try is Jujutsu Kaisen. I heard it's pretty short, but still really good. So that's definitely something that's on my watch list. But yeah, I have a whole list now of things that I need to watch, and new animes that I need to watch. And maybe I'm a bit too obsessed already with Death Note. But anyways, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Sauron out.